So this is our first tutorial in our series about electronics. We're going to have a lot of other series covering things like software programs like Photoshop and also Keynote and also some basics of coding. And this will be our first of our electronics series, and we're going to learn the basics of electronics, how electronics is measured in, and also some basics of how it works. So let's start with the first thing. What is electricity? Well, electricity is electrons that flow through a conductor such as metal. And electricity can be harnessed to power tons of things. The computer right now the computer you're using right now is powered by electricity. If you have a light on in your house, it's being powered by electricity. Maybe some kind of your heater is on right now, your dishwasher, that's all being powered by electricity. And electricity is an amazing thing if we learn to harness it and use it to power. So I'm going to show you a really basic circuit right now. Here we have a battery pack that's just holding two AA batteries. Many of you, they're used in plenty of household products. And we're going to use it to light up an LED. I know you might be wondering, what's that yellow thing that he's plugging the wires into? And I'm going to explain that a little bit. But right now, I just want to show you a very basic thing. This is an LED. It's basically just a light, and you have to use electricity to turn it on. So let me plug this in, and I'm going to show you it at work. So there we go. There's your LED. So there it is. The LED's on right now. It's a little bit bright in the camera, but as you can see, the LED's on. And that's what it's being powered by is these two AA batteries in a battery pack here, and it's going through the wires, through the positive one, flowing through the light and going back out the negative end. And that's how every circuit is. It has to be a complete circuit. There has to be a positive and a negative rail, positive and negative connection in every circuit. Otherwise, it will not work. So let's see if I take the black wire out. As you can see, it doesn't work. Even though there's one wire connected to it, it has to be a complete circuit. It has to flow from positive to negative in order to work. So there it is back on. There's also, this is an LED. It's a very basic light. I'm going to show you another color of it. Here's a red LED. Let me turn this on really quickly. Here, actually, sorry about that. That was one I actually burnt out. Alright, so, and one of the reasons the LEDs can get burnt out is if you give it too much power. I think that LED I accidentally hooked up to a high-powered battery, and that ended up burning it out. And one of the main things is you have to calculate to make sure that you don't burn out an LED by using the right battery. That's really important because you don't want to burn out your LEDs, and they're easy to burn out as they're pretty fragile electronic objects. So let me give you some of the basics. So what flows through these wires? You might be wondering what it is, and it's something called electrons. Electrons are extremely small, negatively charged atoms, or negatively charged particles that will flow through, and if you can harness them correctly, like out of a power output like a battery, it goes through metal, which is a conductor, and you can use to power things like the light I just showed you. Electricity, or the current, which is what is flowing through this, is called current. It's measured in something called amps, and that's short for amperes. And what that means is amps is basically the amount of electricity that's flowing through these wires. And that depends on what you hook it up to, depending on how much power it needs. So this needs about 40 milliamps, which is even less than amps, and that would be equivalent to about 0.04 amps. That would be about 40 milliamps. And that's telling you how much current is flowing through up here. And so there's also something called voltage, and that's about how much. If you compare that to about how much force is the electricity being pushed through, and that's also important because if you don't have enough voltage, then the light won't be power enough because there won't be enough voltage to push the electrons through and out. So that's what voltage is. So let me explain what I'm using here. This is called a breadboard, and it's very easy for electronic prototyping, or in other words, hooking up wires and lights. And that's because you can see in these holes here, the holes have clips, and when you stick a wire in it, the wires will clip in, so it'll stay in, and they're kind of hard to pull out. So it's great for making quick electronic circuits, or just making something cool that you want to have. And this is a half breadboard, it's not a full breadboard, but this is good for small circuits. And how it works is that, as you can see these holes right here, each row, horizontal row like this is connected. There's you can't see it, but underneath there's a small metal piece that connects it, and that's why you can see I have the positive and negative hooked up here, and when I stick the LED in, it lights up because the electrons are traveling through this metal thing that's underneath. And each row is individually connected, otherwise, and it's not connected across this row right here. So this is connected right here, this row. Here, let me get a little pointer. This row right here is connected. Same with this row, and they're all connected. They're not connected this way, only connected up and down. So, and that's same with the rows on the side. This entire row is connected, but not connected to anything else. Only this row is completely connected. So, that was some basic of how a breadboard works. This is a breadboard. And this is great because it has clips, and also it's really easy to connect a lot of circuits to. And without a breadboard, you basically can't do anything. So if you're getting into electronics and you're new at it, I would definitely recommend buying a breadboard as one of the first things you buy. And that is, it's just so important because other than that, you really will not be able to build any circuits. Alright, so let me show you the next thing I wanted to show you. And it's called a wire. Many of you have heard, probably know what they are. Pretty basic device. And basically what it is just a metal piece, like this, and it's covered by a plastic outline. And that's just to make sure that the wire doesn't get hot. So let me show you a basic circuit with this wire. So as I told you, this whole row right here is connected, same with this row, and that's how I'm able to hook up the light. So if I put a wire in here, connecting the positive to another row over here, and then a wire in this negative row connected to another row over here, and I hook the LED up, it works. And that's because it's almost the exact same amount of power here, except it's just flowing from here to there. Here, let me pick this up to show you the layer in here. So you can see the wires are connecting from the positive and negative row, and it's going into the this row, which is connected, and that's connecting to the LED, making the LED light up. So, alright, so in conclusion, though I just wanted to show you some of the basics of electronics and how you work. So let's recap what we learned in this video. We learned about batteries. Many of you know them, but they store an electric charge, and they give out the electrons, which are the charged particles that flow through and light things up. We also learned about current, which is the amount of electrons flowing through a wire or anything at a given time. And that's measured in amps. And we also learned about wires, which contain metal. This case, I believe it's copper and a mix of nickel, and that conducts electricity. And we also learned about breadboards as a prototyping platform, so that they're able to connect. So you're able to do prototyping and connect wires very easily. Thanks for watching, and check out some of our other tutorials on LEDs, switches, and also some software such as Keynote and Photoshop. We have a lot of great videos, and we'd love you to subscribe to our channel to learn more about electronics and computers. Thank you.